Amazon's ease of use and game-changing 1 and 2 day shipping options have convinced over 150 million Americans to sign up for their Amazon Prime membership. But is their top credit card offering just as good? I'm Bradford with the Pain State of Personal Finance. Let's break down the Amazon Prime Rewards Visa Signature credit card and decide whether or not it's worth getting. The first thing that stands out to me is its amazing introductory offer, which is as soon as you apply for the card and are approved, you're going to be getting an Amazon gift card. Now, there's no minimum spend requirement, and the typical offer is going to be a $100 gift card, but with Christmas time being right now, it's currently been bumped up to $150. I think this really beats out a lot of other cashback credit cards intro offers because there is then not a minimum spend requirement. As soon as you're approved for the card, the gift card's yours. But amazing intro offers aside, an introductory offer isn't going to be enough to convince me to get a credit card because I view it the same way as a cherry on top of a sundae. It's bonus, it's nice and sweet, but it's not the reason for me to get the sundae itself. Probably the biggest thing that stands out to me with the functionality of the Amazon Prime credit card is that it's going to give you 5% cash back on all of your purchases on Amazon with no cap on how much you can earn. Now, if you do a lot of spending on Amazon anyway, which is really easy to do since they have almost anything that you could ever think of to buy on their website, that's probably going to be enough to convince you to get the card in and of itself, especially when you compare this to other cashback credit cards that offer that 5% back, like the Citi Custom Cash or the Discover It card. But the limitations with those cards is even though you do earn 5% back, it's limited on how much you can earn because your spending is capped, or you either have a specific category you can use to earn it back, or it's a rotating category that you don't have a choice over. So with the 5% back on almost unlimited options on the Amazon website itself, this really opens up the world and allows you to get that 5% back on almost anything that you buy. Plus, Amazon does run routine bonuses for their Amazon Prime card holders that are gonna bump your 5% base rewards rate all the way up to 20% in some instances, although most often it's gonna be 10% back. Now, the downside of this is that you don't know beforehand which items are going to be eligible for that bonus, but it is something that you can use if you're looking for a specific item, and it does happen to pop up on their bonus section of their site. Additionally, you can also earn 5% back with no limits on all of your purchases at Whole Foods, which is nice because they are so expensive. Alternatively, you could use the Citi Custom Cash and use groceries as your specified category to earn 5% back, but you are limited to up to $500 in spend per month with that 5% back, and then it drops to a 1% cashback rate thereafter. The Amazon Prime card doesn't have that drawback, but it is worth knowing that for both Amazon purchases and Whole Food purchases, you're only eligible to get that 5% cashback if you are an Amazon Prime member. Otherwise, you're only getting a 3% cashback. Since most people do have an Amazon Prime membership, this isn't going to be an issue for most people, but it is something that's worth knowing. As for other spending categories, you can get 2% cash back on all of your gas and restaurant purchases, and then 1% cash back for all other categories. Now, really, I would only use the Amazon Prime card for Amazon purchases and Whole Food purchases to get that 5% back, because you can easily get another card like the Wells Fargo Active Cash to earn 2% on all of your purchases with no spending limits and no specific categories you have to use it on. But what about redeeming cash back? With a lot of store credit cards, they really limit you on how you can actually redeem it, typically only in the form of an in-store statement credit, and they might even limit you to only being able to redeem it in certain parts of the year. The Amazon Prime credit card avoids all of those drawbacks because you have the options of either using it as a statement credit to be able to purchase more things on Amazon, having it mailed to you as a check, or even having it as an ACH transfer to the bank of your choosing. Now, aside from the spending category multipliers, Amazon does advertise other benefits of having this card, like roadside dispatch, travel protection, and a concierge service that you can use through Visa. Let's take a look at those and look about which ones are actually good to have and which ones really don't do anything at all. So here we have the Amazon's website itself where it talks about all of the benefits that you can get with the card. First off, it talks about no foreign transaction fees. That's nice, but there's other cards that are going to be better off if you're traveling overseas. Gives you travel accident insurance, basically anywhere that you buy, whether it's a bus ticket, an airfare, or if you're traveling on a cruise ship, you're going to get up to $500,000 in reimbursement for death or dismemberment. Now, I would imagine they're going to be extremely stingy on paying that out. So if life insurance is something you're concerned about, you're probably better off getting an actual policy. But hey, this is nice to have. And then the lost luggage reimbursement. This is actually a pretty good policy compared to some other travel credit cards out there, since you can get up to $3,000 per passenger back for lost luggage. A lot of travel credit cards are actually going to have a lower limit. So this is something that's pretty nice to have. You're going to get baggage delay insurance. That's going to give you, for any delays over 6 hours, you get up to $100 a day for 3 days. Now, if you are traveling, I would recommend using an actual travel credit card because you're going to get much better benefits than only a maximum of $300. And then probably the worst part that they advertise that as a benefit is going to be your travel and emergency assistance. Basically, it says that, hey, they're going to help you get in contact with somebody, but you're still responsible for the final bill. It's nothing that's really actually included. It's basically the same as you calling 911. Instead, you're asking Amazon through your credit card to call 911 for you. The bill is still yours. This is just kind of adding an extra step, in my opinion, to the whole process. Then moving down further down the list, they talk about zero fraud liability. Basically, that's something you're going to get with any Visa or MasterCard or basically any name brand credit card. You're not going to have any liability for purchases that you yourself didn't actually buy. And then another thing they talk about is going to be the auto rental collision damage waiver. Basically, you can decline additional protection from whoever you're renting the card for. This is pretty standard fare when you're looking at travel credit cards, but the fact that you get it here, hey, it's nice to have. Next up, roadside dispatch. This is going to go under the category of pretty useless. Basically, you can call somebody anytime to dispatch help to get to you, but again, you're responsible for all of the fees. It's nothing that's included. You're much better off using whatever roadside assistance is provided through your auto insurance, or if you have something like AAA. You get extended warranty protection. That's a pretty nice feature. You can extend it for an additional year on warranties of less than 3 years. It does say eligible warranties, so it's not just a flat blanket rate of protection. So you're really gonna have to dive into the terms and conditions to decide whether or not that actually helps you out. You get purchase protection, that's nice. And then we kind of get into the concierge portion for having an actual Visa signature card, which is what you're gonna get if you have a Visa signature labeled card, regardless of where you're getting it from. So you're gonna get access to over 900 luxury hotels. Nothing really that I think is worth having, an additional way of booking, but you're probably better off using Priceline or just booking through the hotel itself. You get the concierge service. I've never actually been able to get anything out of the concierge service I've had on one of my other cards that isn't the Amazon Prime credit card, but I guess your mileage will vary. Maybe it's something that's worth having, but it's nice to have, but it's not something I would get the card specifically for. Now, with all the benefits covered, what are the bottom line pros and cons of having the card? On the pro side is definitely gonna be that excellent intro offer of automatically getting a gift card with no minimum spending requirement, the 5% cash back on all of your purchases with no cap on both Amazon and Whole Foods. Another perk would be the decent travel coverage that you get for a card that really isn't even a dedicated travel card. And then last on the pro side is gonna be the really flexible ways that you can actually redeem your cashback options, especially when you compare it to other store credit cards. Your redemption options here are pretty much on par with any other cashback option that you have when you're looking at the credit card field. Now looking at the cons. Again, this card is a store branded credit card, so it's really only useful to use if you're shopping on Amazon.com or if you're shopping at Whole Foods. And since this is the Amazon Prime Rewards credit card, it's really only as beneficial if you are an Amazon Prime Rewards member. Because if you're not, you're going from that 5% cash back on Amazon and Whole Foods, and it brings you down to 3%, which is still a pretty good credit card. But again, it's not as useful if you don't have that Prime membership next to your name. And then probably the biggest drawback is that almost 10% of all of the reviews for the Amazon Prime credit card are 1-star reviews based on their customer service sucking with Chase, who runs this card. So that is something to really review through and see if some of the issues that those people actually gave the 1-star review for are something that might be applicable for you and how you use credit cards. So bottom line, should you get this Amazon Prime Rewards credit card? Well, if you're an Amazon Prime Rewards member and you do almost all of your shopping online, it's almost certainly going to be worth getting unless those 1-star reviews are something that are going to give you a pause for concern. If they are, I'd recommend getting a different credit card to be able to do your spending. But again, 90% of the reviews are positive of what you're looking at when it comes to the Amazon Prime Rewards credit card. So whether or not those 1-star reviews matter to you is going to come down to personal opinion. But if you are an Amazon Prime member, but you don't really do a lot of shopping online, it's probably not worth it just because the marginal difference in going from a general cashback credit card to the 5% back on Amazon isn't going to make a big difference if you're only making a few purchases on the website each year. So overall, I think it's a really strong option, especially if you do a lot of shopping on either Whole Foods or Amazon, but looking into those 1-star reviews is something to do for a little bit of research. Now, for all of your other purchases outside of Amazon, I highly recommend checking out the Citi Double Cash Card, which I have done a review for right there. Thanks for watching, and from your first penny to your first million, we're here to help.